But first, can you believe this? Our ridiculously anti-Israel government has cancelled the visa of an Israeli politician in part because he says Hamas should be eliminated. And now Israel has hit back. Its Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has just posted that history will remember Albanese for what he is, a weak politician who betrayed Israel and abandoned Australia's Jews. That's just been posted. And Israel's Foreign Minister says that if we're going to ban some Israeli politicians, he's going to restrict visas for ours. How did it get to this? Anthony Albanese. You know, I had to laugh at our Prime Minister a couple of days ago saying, terror and murder must not be rewarded.
What we want to see is that the sovereignty of Ukraine be protected, and that the illegal and immoral invasion conducted by Mr. Putin and Russia are not be rewarded.
Don't reward this terror and all that in Ukraine. But why is the same Prime Minister rewarding the illegal and immoral invasion of Israel by Hamas, which started this war in the Middle East nearly 2 years ago by slaughtering 1,200 Israelis, hacking off heads, raping women, taking 151 hostages, 20 of whom still held in tunnels under Gaza? And now Albanese is in a full-scale diplomatic tit-for-tat war with Israel's Foreign Minister, after Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke cancelled the visa of a second Israeli politician, this time Simcha Rothman, a member of Israel's religious Zionist party and chairman of its parliament's Constitution, Law and Justice Committee. And Burke was saying, oh, well, if you're going to come to Australia to spread a message of hate and division, we don't want you here. Under our government, Australia will be a country where everyone can be safe and feel safe. Well, Rothman, who was actually coming to talk to Jewish groups, was incensed.
In Australia, chanting in the streets, from the river to the sea, Palestine would be free. I would think this is a message of hate and division that calls for the destruction of the state of Israel and for genocide of Jews. That's a message of hate and destruction. I did not see the government of Australia doing anything against those messages.
No, good point. If Tony Burke wants to keep haters out of the country, what is he doing about the people in the anti-Israel rally on Sydney Harbour Bridge who paraded in front of a poster of the terror-sponsoring leader of Iran? Or the protesters there who flew the Islamist jihadist flag, or flags of Hamas, and chanted for the killing of Israeli soldiers? Yes, death to IDF! Death to IDF! Who let those guys in? And Burke hasn't even spelled out yet what hate and division and danger Rothman was bringing here. But the Australian this afternoon said it had Home Affairs documents that actually said that calls by Rothman to eliminate the Hamas terrorists would be, and I quote, inflammatory and concerning to some in the Australian community. Seriously? We have Australians who think that saying these vile terrorists should be destroyed, they'd be upset. I mean, which Australians, Minister Burke, which Australians are these, and aren't they then our real problem? Says it all about this mad government. These documents, apparently, the Home Affairs Department documents, reportedly say there are fears of big protests against Rothman for once calling Gazan children enemies and calling for Palestinians to be relocated to other countries. I'm no fan of this guy, but I do think the only trouble we'd get from a Rothman visit would be all the pro-Palestinian extremists here who'd go nuts, maybe violent. Do these people then decide our immigration policy? Anyway, like I said, Israel's Foreign Minister hit the roof, posted a long attack. Here's some of it. I decided to revoke the visas of Australian representatives to the Palestinian Authority. That's our diplomats there. I also instructed the Israeli Embassy in Canberra to carefully examine any official Australian visa application for entry into Israel. While anti-Semitism is raging in Australia, the Australian government is choosing to fuel it by false accusations, as if the visits of Israeli figures will disrupt public order and harm Australia's Muslim population. It is shameful and unacceptable.
This is an elected member of the Israeli parliament, and it's a very unusual thing to refuse a visa. And I haven't seen explanations from Tony Burke that actually explain what is going on here.
Check how Foreign Minister Penny Wong responded just after midnight to this visa threat from Israel. I mean, talk about hypocrisy. Wong complained about Israel doing this to our diplomats at a time when dialogue and diplomacy are needed more than ever. The Netanyahu government is isolating Israel. Listen to yourself, Penny Wong. You demand now dialogue after your own government just banned not one but two members of Israel's parliament from coming here for some dialogue. How crazy is this government? And how sinister.